There is no family name more representative of circus royalty than the great Wallendas, a family that has achieved incredible greatness in their careers and has also suffered great tragedy, having lost several of their beloved members in accidents. Well, today they are all here to say the tradition carries on in a whole new generation of Wallendas. Please let me introduce and please welcome warmly, if you will. From left to right, we have Mario, Gunther. Oh, you're going to, okay, go ahead. Tino, Jenny, along with, let me see, we have little Erica down here, Delilah, and Carla. Please welcome all of the Wallendas today. And you make your home in Sarasota?
Yes.
Yes? You know, when you go into a store or sign a check or order something from the market and you say, yes, my name is Wallenda, how do people react?
Well, there's almost more Wallendas in the phone book in Sarasota than I think there are Smiths.
Really?
So, that's not really true.
Are they all your relatives?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we're all related.
So most of the time, they say, "Oh, are you one of them?"
One of them.
That's all. Are you one of them?
And what do you say? Yes, I'm one of them.
I said, "Yes, I'm one of them."
First you want to know what they're after, or what we did wrong, and then we'll say we're
Kathy, I've got to tell you a funny incident that happened to my wife and I one time in a store. We were using a charge card, and of course our name is on it. And the clerk said, "Oh, do you know these people?"
Oh,
And my wife just turned around and said, "Oh, yeah, they let us use their charge card quite often."
that's great. You know, along with tremendous notoriety. I mean, your name has become so well associated with the circus. Everybody knows the name, the Wallendas, the great Wallendas, the flying Wallendas. Um, One of the reasons, unfortunately, that you became so well known was because of a terrible tragedy that happened in your family back in 1962 when you were doing the Seven-Man Pyramid, which a movie a few years ago starring Lloyd Bridges gave the impression somehow, and you think wrongly, that this was just a harebrained idea. Let's all just seven of us get up there and go at it. But that's not the case, is it, Gunther?
No, actually, we started the Seven-Man Pyramid in 1947 when we took out our own circus, which incidentally was a flop. But either way, we did the seven for 15, 16 years until 1962 when we came down.
So you had been doing this for 16 years prior to the accident.
I'm not saying we didn't have a few close calls. Mario remembers one in Havana, Cuba that I well remember also. And that was the year of the revolution. We happened to be down there when Castro took over. I believe it was in '59.
The pyramid that actually fell was in Detroit in 1962. Four of you sitting on the stage were in that pyramid at the time?
No,
Let me see, three of you.
just
Mario,
three.
you were.
Well, actually,
Carla?
only two of us.
Jenny.
Yeah, but not in the pyramid.
We're not actually physically in the pyramid.
No.
But we're
I
there.
was doing the pyramid, but not that particular show.
Yeah, she was
We took
alternating.
turns.
Oh, yeah.
My cousin was new, the girl cousin.
Yes.
And it was a very strange thing. I was supposed to do it, and just when I wanted to go up, she says, "Please let me do it." And I said, "Why?" I said, "I know I can do it, and you didn't feel well." And she said, "Please, if I don't do it today, I'll never do it again." But she never did it again. She didn't get killed, but she left, went back to Germany,
You had
and never went on the wire again.
you had two who died in that accident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my husband and my cousin.
We're going to show you now a videotape that we have where this pyramid was sometime after the accident recreated, and this was the result. This was in a backyard, as I understand, right? Okay,
Right.
let's take a look at them trying to put it together again.
Circus families are not unaccustomed to tragedy. And of all circus families, none has suffered more than the troupe known as the Great Wallendas, the world-famous high-wire performers.
The dead are gone, and the show must go on, Carl once said, and so it did. The family returned to Sarasota, and led by Carl's resonant voice, the Wallendas were poised for a comeback, for another try at the pyramid.
Oh.
Of the injured, Gunther was hurt the worst, suffering from a concussion and losing nearly all of his teeth, as well as his desire to perform. Yet incredibly, the clan, minus Gunther, returned to the wire to successfully complete the pyramid. I can't tell you the range of emotions I feel just watching this. When I first saw this video, I mean, I literally gasped in horror seeing it. And then at the end, you just feel like, my goodness, it worked. Everything came back. Carla, you were at the top of the pyramid in this particular video, right?
Jenny.
No, Jenny. Jenny was at the top of the
Me.
pyramid. No, Carla. You guys get it straight here. Um, if we go back to 1962, and Gunther, you were in the pyramid. Mario, you were in the pyramid. Mario, this is where you are in a wheelchair today because of that accident. What happened to you?
I fell off. I mean,
physically, what happened? You
had
you
a
made
spinal
it to the
cord
ground.
injury, right? And I said I broke my back and a couple of ribs. And I said I was in the hospital for several months before I even remember anything. And say my wife can attest to that because she took care of me back then. But I also had a concussion, so I honestly don't remember a whole lot. It took me years even just to remember driving up to Detroit. And I can remember we supposedly had 3 performances before the accident, and I can't remember any of that.
So you don't remember falling?
No, I don't remember falling at all.
Gunther,
Some people that saw the accident say that I caught the wire and that the chair came down and hit me on the back of the head, and that's what knocked me off.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not surprised because anytime I ever fell, I always grabbed the wire. And when they did take me to the hospital, I did have wood splinters in the back of my head.
Gunther, did you fall and hit the ground?
No, I
he
was
lucky.
the only one that was left standing because I was in the back and the pyramid fell towards the front.
What happened? Do you know why it fell?
No, not really. We assumed, and it's an assumption only, that it was the front man. That front man was Dieter. And of course, Dieter was killed in the accident. So we'd have to be able to ask him, did you actually try to flip your pole and did you miss the pole? What we think happened is that his hands got tired.
Yeah.
Again, it's a matter of when you've been around a while in the business, you keep the pole up like this,
Yeah.
so that it doesn't hang on your fingers. Well, he may not have been aware of that, and it tied his fingers, so he tried to flip the pole, is what we're told.
Yeah.
And he missed it with one hand. And of course, that brought the whole thing down.
Collapsed.
But that's only an assumption. Nobody knows that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but practicing before we went to Detroit, he and I were holding one of our smaller tricks. And he did that. He changed his grip and he lost his pole, and 3 of us fell, but we were only 10 feet. I don't remember what we were doing. But so he did have, because it takes a lot out of you to hang on to that pole for all that time. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes, but that pole gets awful heavy, awful fast.
See, it's very funny. You can practice down on the 10-foot wire, which is where you would normally practice. And then when you get on the high one, even if you're experienced, that first show or two, oh boy, it pulls. We know that. We're used to it.
Gunther, we're going to roll some video here of how you actually put this pyramid together. Can you just talk over this and tell me how you're putting this together and give me a sort of a blow-by-blow here?
Okay. This is your first part. In other words, you've got the 2 men connected by 1 shoulder bar. Most likely that was Carl on the second.
I have to correct you, Uncle Gunther, but that's when we did the
For the
pyramid
Lloyd
for
Bridges?
the
Okay.
1970s.
Go ahead.
you're
you know the better than I do that.
So Tino, this is where you're recreating it for the movie version.
Down on the bottom level would be my brother-in-law Terry in the first position. Behind him, a gentleman by the name of Dave Kluko, who was one of our. He grew. Uncle Gunther put him on the wire in Sailor Circus, and
Who's
later
on
on came
here?
to us. On the top level, Louis Murillo, the man in the front, and he was with our family many years. At the very top is my sister Delilah, who's seated here. Behind her, holding the back position there, is our cousin Enrico. And down on the bottom level, the last 2 members would be Farrell Hedig, who was also with us many years, and myself taking up the rear.
But I can see here where the front man, if something had happened to the front man, that would collapse the entire pyramid.
Well, seriously, if something happened, if anybody, you have 7 people who are really counting on each other for their very lives.
How does it feel to sit up there, Delilah? Is it nerve-wracking at all?
It's exciting.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it really? This, in 1977, was the last time the 7-man was done, the recreation for the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the last time.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last time it was redone by us. It's been attempted several times before and after by others, but I feel it's never been done the way that the Wallendas did it, without nets or safety devices, incorporating a chair.
Mario, I've got to take a break here, but I do want to ask, I see you unable to perform. I see that this tragedy took something away from you. Is there a sadness in you about this?
Yeah.
A missing what? Performing, missing?
Well, like Gunther retired because he wanted to. See, but I was only 21 when I got hurt, and I didn't retire because I wanted to. I mean, I had to. I mean, I'm getting kind of a lump in my throat here, so.
Yeah, it would, to be so young.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a break. The Wallendas will be right back. A demonstration by the new generation of Wallendas carrying on this wonderful circus tradition. Before we leave the subject, though, of some of the things, unfortunately, that you've been in the news for, one of the most tragic was the death of Carl, the real patriarch of the family, back in 1986. And this is disturbing for me to watch. Pardon? 78. Pardon me. Then we may have a mistake in this, but please understand that we'll correct it here. March 22nd, 1978. Let's go ahead and roll the tape of what happened to Carl. To achieve some of the most daring acts of balance to come from the wire, most notably Carl's walk of the Tallulah Gorge in 1970. Yet tragically, he would not live to challenge his dream, to walk the Grand Canyon. He was killed in 1986 from a fall in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
So he got out there with the gusty winds, and the wire started swaying a little on him, and he went ahead and tried to sit down. Well, he sat down, and the wind took his pole and twisted it sideways, and I think it hit the arm that he had no real strength left in and tore it loose, and consequently he went down with the pole.
Oh, you are saying that you were watching this and it was not the wind swaying the wire, you don't think?
Not in my opinion.
What do you think it was?
Well, all you gotta do is watch it. You can see the wire going like this. I mean, nothing against my father, but he did this for years in the wind. But he didn't like loose. He was a tight wire walker. And whoever put the wire up, the guy wire should have gone up to the wire. If you notice how it was rigged, the guy wire comes about a foot under the wire.
Yeah.
So the wire is going like this.
And that's what happened.
It just went out from under him.
Yeah.
The other thing is he should have been able to hold on, but he took a fall during that Lloyd Bridges film, and after that fall, he had an arm that did not work too well.
Oh, really?
And I think that's what I was explaining there, is when he grabbed the hole, that may have been that bad arm. And when that pole came around, it just pulled the guy off.
But he was a man who was how old at this age?
73, I believe.
73. Did anybody ever say, "Come on, Dad, let's not do this anymore"?
Yeah, sure, we all did. You know, Carl, it's time to quit. But I think basically we all knew that he was going to end up this way.
No, well,
you know, it's not a question of that we knew he was going to drop and let himself fall. But
okay, they're telling me I need a break and a demonstration when we come back. We promise. One of the new generation of performing Wallendas, and as you can see, she's pretty high up doing a split, I guess, on the pole. What do we think of this? What do you think?
That's wonderful.
Carly, you got your mic on back there? I'll ask you a couple questions while they're doing this. What happens if you want to marry into this family? You necessarily have to get up on the high wire?
Well, everybody that got into the family that married us, they all ended up getting up high.
Well, that's some peer pressure, isn't it? If you marry, you have to perform.
Right.
I know Mario married the nurse who nursed him back to health. Is that right?
She stayed working in the hospital. She didn't want anything to do with wiring.
Yeah. You didn't want to walk the high wire. Let's go ahead and take this phone call. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Oh, he tried.
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say that I lived in Detroit. At that time, I was newly married, about 3 months, and one evening my wife and I were playing around the kitchen, and she got cut. and I had to take her to the hospital. And because her emergency was very minor, they put her aside because they were bringing in the Wallendas.
You were there the night it happened?
Right in the emergency room.
Ooh.
And it's never, it's very tragic, and it's never left me to think I was, right there when it happened.
Yes. What do you think seeing them here today to see these young people carrying the tradition on?
Well, it's quite a thrill. Naturally, they're a lot older than they were then, too.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much for your call. That's really something. Somebody who was really there. Now, Carla, you're still performing.
Oh, yes. I perform 11 months out of the year.
You call yourself what? The granny on the highway?
High-flying granny.
High-flying granny. We got a question up here. Go ahead.
I wondered the weight of the pole and what was the total weight for each man on the bottom of that 7-man pyramid.
The weights would vary anywhere from 20 pounds for a lighter weight individual. We had one pole that was weighed all of 50 pounds. The normal weight on the bottom level, I would say
35, 40 pounds.
No, I mean the entire weight that one man would carry, maybe 150 to 200 pounds.
Yeah. Delilah, you must have muscles. I mean, to be doing this is a very strong thing that you have to do, right?
Yes, it's very physical. Mm-hmm.
How do you stay in shape?
I continue to practice.
Practicing is your workout, I guess.
Yes, yeah. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many family members you have lost in the past couple of generations to accidents?
Yeah. Well,
starting with Willie.
They're
we have to start counting. It's probably
Eddie.
about 5 or 6.
Five or
Yeti
six.
was not killed in the high wire. She was killed in the high
But
park.
we also,
just said tragedy.
the question's always asked, well, don't you think you should get down and stop working? But you don't understand that circus and walking the tightrope are really our life. It's not a game we play, and life goes on. We also had a member who was killed in an automobile accident. So most people wouldn't think that you'd want to stop driving an automobile.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to show you some video of the new generation and the new act and what they look like and how wonderful they look today. And this is Tino and the act today. And you aren't affiliated with any one circus. You freelance around, you say, which I never knew circus performers did, but this is the act today. Tell me what it feels like up there when you get that high of working before an audience and a crowd, and how does that feel when everything's really clicking?
Now, none of us could really come up with a real good answer for that. The only thing is that we're so often misrepresented as being daredevils, and that's not really we don't get any thrill out of actually being up there at those heights doing those tricks. It's the audience and the energy that we get back from them. That's what makes it for us as performers.
It's in your blood, isn't it? Isn't it addictive, what happens when the crowd is responding?
Yeah,
absolutely.
When you can have a rapport with the audience, it just makes it so much better. You really want to do the best you can for them.
Will you ever do the 7-man again?
Probably not.
What'd you say, Mario?
Because of...
I said not if they're smart.
One of the big things against it is that so many people are involved, and with the cost of living these days, you just can't afford to sell an act that large
to put
anymore.
A big troupe on on the road that much. Okay, you guys want me to try it? Want me to try it? I've been trying to work my way up to this. I'm a little nervous, but I tell you what, Erica, why don't you hold the mic for me, okay? All right.
Why don't you hold the mic on? We need you to come right over here. And what we want you to do, give me your hand. We want you to step up on the wire, one foot and then the other. We'll hold you. Don't worry. Okay? Now you want to take this balancing pole, cup your hand from underneath on the tape, on both sides, out here. Now you want to bring it all the way into your gut, tight as you can. And now there you go. You want to concentrate on a point on the other side.
Balance with,
this is hard.
balance with your arms, not your shoulders.
Do not let me go, okay?
I will not. Absolutely not.
Don't worry, Kathy. I've got the pole. I won't let it fall.
Yeah, right. Check them in there.
How about a nice split now or something?
I think standing up here, let's give me a round of applause and I'll get you. She says she's going to stand on her head. Let's show you how it's really done. All right, here she goes. You wear any padding on your hair or anything? That's just your head, a hard head. This is great. I'm getting out of the way of this pole.
Jackie, now you got to realize this is not her equipment. She's not used to this weight pulling that, so.
Yeah. Look at this. She just picks this up like it's nothing. You got 30 seconds. Can you do your little headstand in that? Now, she doesn't have anything on her head to protect her head. This is hard.
We all develop
a nut.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Wallenda. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you very much.